Whenever I'm going flying and my car's driving itself there, I always think, why can't my plane fly itself? Here at Skytron, we're making self-flying planes a reality. And in this video, I'm going to give you a behind-the-scenes look of exactly how we're doing it. Now, to be clear, we're not removing the pilot from the cockpit, but we are giving them an aircraft where they can enter their destination, press go, and the aircraft will do all the piloting point to point. The Woodbird here is our development platform where we test our new control laws, see if the aircraft's handling like we want. It's also where we're developing all of our own avionics. The Skytron aircraft's really being designed for self-flying first, but when you do want to take controls, it's actually super fun to fly. It feels way more like a fighter jet than what traditional general aviation airplanes are today.
The autonomy problem with cars is actually very different than with planes. You see, driving has the harder perception problem. Airplanes get a much less cluttered world, but they get a harsher failure problem.
An engine failure can be
You cannot build this by taking a 1970s cockpit and taping AI onto the panel. Skytron is a clean sheet airplane that is digital first.
This right here is our Ironbird. It's where we set up all the brains and smarts of our aircraft and test it on the bench before it ever gets into the aircraft. Here we have our triply redundant flight control computers. We have our different actuators that are going to be moving our primary control surfaces. We've had to retrofit servos onto our throttle bodies for our engines so that they're digital first. We are working on developing all of the software and communication that goes between all this hardware here on the bench before we go out there and fly it in the real world.
In a self-flying airplane, the computer cannot be an accessory. It has to be the architecture, a cockpit designed around intent instead of workload. That is the foundation. Digital first, pilot supervised, human authority preserved. Every pilot learns 3 words on day 1. Aviate, navigate, communicate. Fly the airplane, figure out where it's going, and talk to ATC. If an airplane can do those 3 jobs while the pilot supervises, you have something fundamentally different from an autopilot. Let's first talk about Aviate. That is the section that the computers have been doing well for decades.
Modern autopilots hold altitude, heading, course, and speed better than any human.
In Skytron, control law turns pilot intent into safe control movement.
We can start developing on this simulated bench environment hooked up to our simulator and work out all the small little kinks and things like that before we ever fly it in the aircraft.
We configure the computers around the limits the airplane has to respect: pitch, bank, speed, control authority, as well as failure states. Then we fly simulated missions through the same stack.
And right now we're running that into the actual database, the actual physical model of the aircraft we're designing. This is how it actually will behave.
Self-flying starts when the airplane understands the mission. So let's talk about navigate. Navigate is not follow the magenta line. That is just basic GPS. Navigate's what happens when the magenta line becomes wrong. When there's traffic directly ahead of you, or when the fog rolls in, the destination drops below minimums. Now the airplane has to ask, where can we legally land with the fuel that we have? That is where breakthroughs in AI are extremely valuable. Not with the hard rules like fuel, weather, minimums, terrain, or aerospace. Those are classical software problems. AI helps with the messy layer. Is the nearest airport actually the best? Is the weather improving or is it worsening? Is the alternate legal but operationally dumb? Our bet is hybrid. Rules for the constraints, AI for the context, with the pilot authority always preserved. Skytron checks weather, fuel, terrain, traffic, and alternates, then recommends. That is supervised autonomy. The airplane does the work while the pilot keeps full authority. This is the pillar people underestimate. And to be honest, I did.
Air traffic control is audio, so I thought this would be easy. Run it through the best transcription models and move on. But first, I needed a test set. So I spent days and days manually transcribing hours of ATC audio from different airports, accents, on clean, clear audio where the traffic controllers are clearly enunciating words. Those ones work great. But we're building for the real world. The off-the-shelf models gave us about a 20% word error rate. That's 1 in 5 words wrong.
Listening to all these calls, sometimes I can barely understand the tower myself. I'm a native English speaker and a pilot, and I still have to replay the calls a lot of times. So how were the pilots getting these right? Well, it's because of context. Pilots are not just hearing words. They're using the whole situation around them to understand what those words most likely mean.
So I trained a context-aware model. It has all the context that pilots in real life have today. The word error rate dropped from about 20% down to 1.4%. In Skytron's first airplane, the pilot still confirms the command. If the trend holds as we scale the dataset, I think this can become as reliable as a human pilot on the radio and eventually even better.
Now, this isn't ready to ship yet, but every day we're proving that the path is real. A self-flying airplane that can aviate, navigate, and communicate. An airplane that does all the routine work, but can explain what it's doing and hand back control cleanly if needed. That's the version of self-flying airplanes that I think are gonna happen first. The pilot's not the one that's gonna disappear first. It's the workload that'll disappear first. And that's what we're building here at Skytron. So follow along with the project as we prove it.